We're talking about personal growth, and I'm very passionate about the subject of personal growth. And the reason I'm very passionate about the subject of personal growth is because of what I have personally benefited from. I've personally benefited from it. Now, when we talk about personal growth, for me personally, it has changed my life, and that's why I'm passionate. Every one of us in this room is unique. Every one of us. So if you feel you're unique, okay, so that's my assumption, that every one of us in this room is unique. But if you truly feel you're unique, can I see your hand up? If you truly feel you're unique, maybe your electronic hand or maybe your, okay, so you see, everyone. So the next question, thank you very much. The next question is, because we are all unique, you are unique, do you think that you have reached your full potential? Do you have no need to grow again? If that is the case, can I see your hand up? You've reached your full potential, no need to grow. Can I see your hand up? Okay. Is anybody putting their hand up? All right, nobody. It means that we all agree or understand that we have need to grow. We have not reached our potential. You want to be a better person today, better than what you were yesterday. You want to be a better person tomorrow, better than what you were today. And the only guarantee that you're going to be a better person tomorrow as against what you are today is that you consistently grow yourself. So before we dive into this subject of personal growth, I will tell you that with the time we have left, maybe 30 or 45 minutes, it will not be enough for us to dive deep into all the various facets of personal development. I did a Google search a couple of days ago, and I just typed personal development or personal growth. You can do that. You probably are going to get about 4.6 or 4.8, if I'm not mistaken, billion results in seconds. So if you take a look at the number of entries that are going into a search for personal growth or personal development, or if you take a look at the answers or the results that you get, you would agree with me that there is so much, you have so much information in there with regards to personal growth or personal development. This is important. Why do I think it's important? I like to share with you is because it might lead you into rabbit holes. Have you ever been online where you're searching one thing, then you click a link and the link takes you to another link and then takes you to another link and then takes you to another link, and you spend 2-3 hours becoming an expert in searching and no action? And tomorrow is the same thing, the day after is the same thing. Does it ever happen to you? Okay, so with the ocean of information that we have, I'm taking you somewhere. It's very easy to get in and say, I want to do some digging on personal growth. Or I would encourage that if we're not talking, we put our microphones on mute, so that we mute our microphones so that we don't get interruptions in the background. Please, thank you. Okay, so what I'm saying at the end of the day is that instead of you going into this ocean to search for things about personal growth, about personal development, and spend all the time, a smarter way for me, if you ask me, a smarter way would be, why don't you look for the guys up there who are maybe the top 10 when it comes to personal development, or maybe the top 5 when it comes to personal growth, and learn from them. That's what I would do, because what that helps me to do is that it narrows down my search, it saves me time, and also I'm able to glean actionable insight that I can act on immediately. I was doing some reading the day before, or I think this morning, on Forbes. I figured out something, Forbes magazine, I think. I learned something where we're talking about millennials and learning, and where and the research shows that There are people that just keep learning and learning and learning, and they never act. So this is my tip for you as we go on. Don't try to learn everything. Learn small, act small. Learn small, do small. Learn small, do small. And this you can also apply in your chapter, in your organization, your local organization, JCI Lekki Royal. You don't have to know everything. But I don't want to jump the gun. And when we talk about coaches and we talk about mentors and people who are leaders when it comes to personal development, personal growth, when we talk about leadership, one of my mentors happens to be at the top of this list. He has written several New York Times best-selling books on leadership and on personal growth. In fact, I can tell you for free, that this man has written over 100 books and sold over 26 million copies. His name is Dr. John C. Maxwell, one of my mentors. Work with him. I'm a member of the Maxwell Leadership, Certified Leadership Coaches, part of that team. And it's been an incredible journey. So he's written over 100 books, sold about 26 million copies. He's someone you want to listen to. He wrote a very deep and very insightful book called 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And this book, the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, is one of the New York Times bestsellers today. And, you know, if you don't have that book, I'd really encourage you to go get it. 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And if you have the book and it's been hanging on your shelf, just being there and nothing is happening, I'd encourage you to start reading it. If you don't have it, go get it, and make sure you don't just keep it, make sure you read it. Because it's going to help, it's going to grow you. So we will spend the rest of our time together, approximately maybe 30 minutes or so, and look at two of those laws. There are 15 invaluable laws, but we're going to look at two of those laws. And the two laws are, first, the law of pain, and secondly, the law of the rubber band. These two laws are very important aspects of personal growth, because when you take a look at the law of pain, it talks about how we can take our experiences in life, especially the painful experiences, the unpalatable experiences, and how we can gain lessons from those experiences and become stronger. It shows you how you can refuse to give your power to the circumstances around you, but take control of whatever happens. Take control and always be in charge of what happens around, how you respond to what happens around you. Then the law of the rubber band shows that for you to grow and actually reach your full potential, you need to stretch beyond your comfort zone. The way athletes will stretch their muscles, that's how you also need to stretch mentally, physically, and otherwise. So I'm going to ask you at this point, are you ready? Because we want to talk about some things that are really touching and striking. So are you ready? If you're ready, can I get a thumbs up? Are you ready? This is, yes, let's go. Let's know. Are you ready? All right. Oh, I see. Everybody's ready. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you. I might say some things you don't agree with. It's okay. I might say some things like it was said earlier by Melda that you probably have heard before. It might be just some form of reinforcement. It might also be that I might be saying some things you've never heard, or you've never heard them the way I'm going to say them. But whatever it is, this should be your goal. Take one small, tiny, little, teeny thing today and add to your life. Become a better person, become a better leader. I heard that tomorrow you're going to be having your AGM, so it's a good thing that you have one set of leaders going off, and in many cases, some of the people that served in this board that is up and it's going off will also serve in the new board. It's a leadership. It's like JCI. It's like a place where you keep learning how to lead. So you take care of different responsibilities. We're going to see how we can apply the principles we learn here to these roles that you take up, and see how we all can become better people, okay, and become more effective. So I hope that we're ready for this. So first, let us take the law of pain. The law of pain says that the good management of bad experiences leads to great growth, and it is necessary to grow. Let me take it again. The good management of bad experiences leads to what? To growth. Now, the management of bad experiences is necessary in order for you to grow. This law is a tough pill to swallow. Why is that? Because naturally we avoid pain. Everybody, I also avoid pain. I don't like pain. We all naturally don't want anything. But what this law does is to teach us how can we turn bad experiences around and take positive steps. So let me ask you a question. Okay, and I need you to be very honest with me about this one. If you have never had bad experiences, can I see your hand up? I have never experienced anything bad, never had any bad experience. Can I see your hand up? Okay. All right, no hands. It means one way or the other, every one of us have had bad experiences. True? Is that correct? Okay, you can nod so that I know that you're with me. Is that correct? Awesome. So the next question I want to ask is...
Yes, we have.
Okay, thank you. So the next question I want to ask is this. If you love bad experiences, can I see your hand? I love bad experiences. I pray for bad experiences. Can I see your hand up? All right, nobody. All right, I don't love bad experiences, but I like bad experiences. Can I see your hand up? Okay, still nobody. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit. I tolerate bad experiences. I don't love them, I don't like them, but anyways, I tolerate them. Can I see your hand up? Anybody? Okay, I see. Yes, Yetunde says, okay. All right, Imelda said, Chinelu said, okay. So, and this is true. Everywhere I have gone to, big organizations, small organizations, medium, you ask the same set of questions. Most times you see nobody. I've only had one case. I think it was a particular organization, not-for-profit organization I was talking to, and just two persons said they love bad experiences. And by the time I went further to quiz them a little bit after the session, so now they said not like they love bad experiences, but like they embrace bad experiences. So if they come, they try to learn from that. So okay. But most times what you find out is people don't like bad experiences. People don't love bad experiences. But if they have no way to go out, if they feel there's nothing I can do about it, then they just tolerate it. Okay? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong about that. But what we want to learn today is how can we take those bad experiences and make them squeeze the juice out of them and make them better. So I'm going to share with you three keys that would help you whenever you see bad experiences, whenever you meet bad experiences, you take up a project and the project is going south. You are a director of a particular, you're a director on the board, you have a project, it's not working out well, okay, you're having issues with your board of directors, you're having issues with other directors, you're having issues with your president, you're having issues with members, you're having issues with your family, places at work. What can you do in any of these circumstances so that you do not lose control? It is important that the power stays with you. Don't forget that. It is important that your power remains with you. We're not talking about physical power here. We're talking about your mind power. Because many a times we lose it to circumstances, we lose it to someone else. I'm going to teach you I'm going to share with you 3 keys that I believe that if you apply them, they will change the way you approach problems. So number 1 is to learn it. Remember, the 3 keys are keys to help you leverage pain or painful experiences. Keys to help me, keys to help us leverage painful experiences. So key number 1, learn it. I so much love the quote of John McDonnell. He said that every problem introduces a person to himself. Every problem introduces, sometimes you do not know how strong or how hypocritical you are. I probably don't know how hypocritical I am. I do not know how weak I am or how strong I am until I face certain problems. So don't forget, John McDonnell, he said, every problem introduces a person to himself. I need you to take a moment to think about that statement. Try to put yourself wherever you are today, what you're going through, and ask yourself, what is this revealing about me? You see, the bottom line of this law is that everyone has bad experiences. We cannot avoid bad experiences. There's no way. We cannot run away from them. We can try to avoid them. We can try to tolerate them. Or we can decide to embrace those bad experiences. But no matter where you choose, across the spectrum, the point is we cannot completely insulate ourselves away from bad experiences. No, we cannot. So I mentioned 3 groups of people. The first group, the group that completely wants to avoid anything painful. The second group tolerates it because there's nothing they can do about it. The third group embraces it and say, come on, let's see what you've got. And that third group is the leadership group. So JCI gives you the opportunity to learn, to lead for 1 year. I tell you for free, it comes with lots of challenges, it comes with lots of learnings. But many people go through their roles every year without necessarily paying attention as much as possible to the lessons in order to learn. Now, this last group of people who embrace painful situations, not like they pray for it, but they're not scared of it. They understand that every painful experience comes with its learning. All right? Every painful experience. Let me share an example. Let me share a story with you. Somewhere around 2018, I went into a business transaction and it was going on well. We were all getting paid every week. And then at some point, I started asking myself, this is good, it's good business, but how long? I was doing that sincerely in good faith. How long is this structure going to last? You know, you get into business and you begin to question the stability of the process at some point. But sometimes there's this foolishness that gets into you, and that happened to me where they gave me answers that were not satisfactory, but the foolishness just kept me going. Let's see, they'll work it out. I was in Port Harcourt and I was teaching in Port Harcourt when my wife called me and said the business has crashed. That the business had crashed. I said, what do you mean? She said, the business had crashed, you need to return. It was a 3-day training program for a particular company. So I'd done day 1, I had 2 days to go, and she said, you need to come back. I said, I can't come back, I need to finish the training here. Well, I finished, it wasn't easy, and I came back. But truly and truly, that business was gone. What did it do to me? I had threats. There was a time I couldn't sleep. I would just stay and I'd be trembling because of all the thoughts running in my head. I lost friends, relationship, respect in some places. I was exposed to law enforcement agents in Nigeria, different ways, different places I never thought I would be. I never thought I would be writing statements and all of that. I never thought I would go that far. But I got there. And not to talk about the emotional pain and everything during the period. In fact, as we speak, I'm still going through the pain and the process of all the loss, because we lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Did I learn something? Oh, yes, I did. I learned a lot. Today, if I'm going into any dealing, anything, the moment my doubt is raised, is aroused, I hear this voice say, Stallone, I think it's time to take some steps backwards and reevaluate. And after that happened, a couple of things that happened, and then I look back and I said, Stallone, but you should have learned. What am I trying to say? When bad experiences happen to you, if you fail to pick the lesson, life is saying you've got to pick some ounces or maybe some pebbles of wisdom. Now, if you fail to pick those pebbles of wisdom, life is going to wait for you somewhere else. And then it's going to punch you again and push you into that corner, because you will make similar mistakes. Because life is saying, Ogbeni, you need to pick this wisdom. You need to learn this thing. So if you fail, life is going to wait. That's why some people fall into problems, because they fail to learn. So I'm saying, if you find yourself in a situation that is painful, ask yourself, why did I get here? How did I get here? What am I supposed to learn? If you fail to learn that, to pick those lessons, to pick that wisdom, life will force you into a similar corner. Sometimes it might be a bigger problem, because you need to learn. You understand? Because you need to learn. So I understand I've gotten a notice that this ends in 15 minutes. So I guess that we would have to use the same link to get back in, right? Imelda, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, please.
All right.
Please.
So we hope that everyone will get back in as quickly as possible. I have a lot to share with you, but I will speed it up. Okay, we were waiting for some of you so that we could start. All right. So pretty much, I think we get that. And I hope that the flow is not broken. So I learned a lot from that experience. It was painful. I tell people on a lighter note that I believe that if my wife was not my friend, she probably would have said, man, I'm done with you. So it was that bad. So whatever you go through today, pick the lesson. I'm saying that we all have bad experiences. You've heard the saying that life is about ups and downs. But the problem with most people is they want it to go up, 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 up every time. They never understand that sometimes you have to go down the valley a little bit to pick some wisdom and then begin to climb back. We do everything within our powers to avoid bad situations, yet they will always find us. Bad situations will always find us. Sometimes people tell you, take one day at a time. The question is, how can you take one day at a time when it feels sometimes like all the days are just attacking you at once? Sometimes it's hard. So let's not be hypocritical. We cannot avoid bad days completely. It is true that we don't like bad experiences. But when I asked you about who loves bad experiences, you see nobody. I said but when I said who can tolerate, even at that, if you can tolerate, it's because there's nothing to do about it. But if you have your way, a lot of us will want to avoid it. But instead of being afraid of bad experiences, why don't we gather the skills, learn how to manage bad experiences well, and squeeze out the best we can from those bad experiences and become stronger and better? I want to tell you a short story about why it's important to value bad experiences. There was a time I was going into a mentoring relationship. So my first or second meeting with my mentor at the time, he asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, I'd love to speak to people. I know that I've got the gift to teach. I want to hone that gift, and so that I'll be able to talk to people and help people see things from a different point of view. And he said, it's fine. And he said to me that you need to have some kind of picture or framework where you see yourself. So who are your role models? So I mentioned a couple of persons, including Les Brown and the rest of them. And then he said to me, he said, do you realize the people that you've mentioned, like late Bob Proctor, Les Brown, John Maxwell, have you noticed that they are powerful storytellers? That was the first time I paid attention. He said, yes. And then he told me that for you to be able to tell those stories, there has to be some form of history. For the history to be in place, somebody has to live through the experiences. So your experiences become history. The history become the stories that you tell. And so he said, what are your experiences? So if we use that to come to what we're talking about today, if you continue to avoid painful experiences, what stories will you tell your children? What stories will you tell the coming generation? What stories would you tell people? If you paid attention thus far, I have told you a number of stories, and none of these stories I told you were stories of success, as it were. All the stories I've shared with you are stories of my pain and failures and lessons learned. Have you noticed that? I've not told you about how I succeeded in doing this and that. No. But I'm telling you where I made mistakes. I was speaking somewhere where I told that they were waiting for stories, all these glassy stories of success. And I told them, I said, I don't have stories to tell you about how I succeeded, but I sure know how to fail. I have been there. I know the pain. So I'm here to share with you stories about pains, things I've gone through. So for some people, in many cases, when we share those stories, it is to help some other people not to fall into the same trap. So the question is, for you to have those war stories to tell, you need to be open. You need to be ready to embrace bad experiences. Some of us experience, when you experience when you have bad experiences, they're like fires. I call them pain fires. But I like to follow John Maxwell. He calls them pain fires. You'll have, for instance, the pain of incompetence. About 7-8 years ago, I had a coach, a lady that I wanted her to coach me in terms of business and all of that. And after a while, I told myself, I said, listen, you know what this woman is doing, I could actually do it because she's a speaker, she's a coach. I have all the questions she asked me when we had our coaching session. I have watched her teach on stage, and I told myself I could do the same thing. So what I did was I took the materials that I paid for, I recreated them, and then I modified them, and then I had a few persons. I started my own business. Like, I can coach, I can teach. You know, when you get to this stupid stage where people call you coach and all of that, let me tell you what happened. When I exhausted the material I got from her, the people that came into my fold were still waiting for more content. But there was no content to give to them again because I'd broken away from the lifeline. So when I look back, that also caused me some embarrassment. I had to pay back some monies and all of that. But when I look back, I figure that I didn't allow myself to go through the process. This woman, before, at the time I met her, had been coaching and training for 17 years, had been in business before that, been an executive. She had a whole lot going on for her. But I didn't go through the process. I just saw that she could do certain things, and I felt, I could also do the same thing. So today, if you do not allow yourself to be absorbed, to go in through, what will happen is that you will run out of content, so to speak. Because whatever you see today or people see outwardly today is just the tip of the iceberg compared to what you are able to do what you have inside of you. So I went through what is called the pain of incompetence. I suffered it. I've shared with you my pain of financial loss, and I told myself, I wish I could turn back, if I just could turn back the hands of time. I've had also cases of pain of being the first person. Have you ever been in a place where everybody talks about you like you have the solution and everything, and then it was time for some promotion, you never got it? In your chapter, you might feel like you are hardworking, you are always there, you're the person that's always making things to work. And then when it's time for maybe your AGM like tomorrow, or maybe your convention or something, they fail to recognize you. They fail to call you on stage. And then you go, boom. After everything I have done for Lekki Royal, they did not even recognize me. You see, the directorate, I was the one that was in charge. It's okay. Question: what are you learning? Let me tell you what to pick in such cases. In any JCI role or position that you have to serve, after 1 year, if you actually served, you never remain the same. That is a guarantee. You never remain the same. You pick 1, 2, 3 things. So ask yourself, maybe I never knew how to distribute letters. I never knew how to knock on offices. I never knew how to network high net worth people so as to bring in sponsorship. I've never done fundraising before. I've never gone for fund drive before. But within the past 1 year, I've been exposed to all of these experiences. Who cares about being recognized on stage, for crying out loud? Who cares? You have learned something you can even use in your family, your personal life, your place of work. But failure to identify those lessons would now run into rancor, hatred, complaining, quarrels. I have been in JCI local organizations where there was no peace. 2, 3 factions. It's not a good place to stay. And it can just start from you not being comfortable and you failing to see what you have learned by virtue of you serving in that role just because they failed to recognize you.